Hey everybody, what's up? It's Live with April Diamond here on Hey Vegas TV. And I have a special person here that I am interviewing today. Give it up for the one, the only Justin Guarini. Woo!
Hey, thank you very much. It's so lovely to be here.
I'm so excited that you're here.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. This is a gorgeous place, and I mean, I'm on Hey Vegas.
You're on Hey
Let's go.
Vegas. Let's
Yeah.
go. Oh my gosh. And it's so cool that you're in town and you were available to come and you got through the rain, but you got here and
Yeah, it's really cool. It was such a great timing because I'm here doing a keynote speech, and that's part of what I do. It's one of the many hats, like, you know, right? Like nowadays you have to wear like a ton of hats, especially in the entertainment industry.
Yes, I know that very well.
Yeah.
So, you know, we all know you from the very first American Idol. Like all of us are like, Justin, like everybody knows who you are. Millions and millions of people tuned in to watch you on that first season of American Idol. And you have seen the whole evolution of how this all, it must be a very interesting perspective to see from the first show to like years later.
Yeah.
What is that like for you?
Well,
seeing
it's
that?
seeing the show how it first began, where we all kind of were like, let's just give it a shot. Right? Like, we were just like, just try it. Nobody knew what to expect. And so, you know, it was really amazing to be at the outset of something where we didn't know it was going to be 30 million people watching every single night, right? We didn't know it was going to be this monolith that's still going on. And there was a real, just like can-do spirit among everyone, right? And so watching it evolve over the years and seeing that American Idol is the only show of its kind that has put multiple stars into multiple facets of the entertainment industry.
Right.
And I'm really proud to be a part of that legacy.
Yeah, and you are incredibly talented.
Oh, cheers.
And I've been having chats with Michael Orland, you know,
Yeah.
the pianist and vocal coach,
Yeah.
amazing guy, and he sends his love, and he's like, that guy is super talented, sending love, and
He's great. I mean, between like Michael Orland and what a lot of people don't see on American Idol is that you have your vocal coaches, and your vocal coaches aren't just your vocal coaches, they're also like your psychologists, right? And we had a lovely vocal coach, Deborah Bird, who was on many, many of the seasons. She passed away a couple years ago, and she is the reason, and Michael Orland is the reason that a lot of kids actually make it through the show live, because they're with us. And they're not only helping us create like amazing songs and amazing versions of the songs, but they're like helping us get through the onslaught of what it's like to be a part of that show.
that's incredible. I love hearing that, and it's such an authentic story, and it's such a tale of, you know, I thought I could, and I tried, and I actually did it. And the thing that he talks about, which I love, is that when they show up, they have great voices. You guys all have great voices, but it's that journey to become a performer.
Yeah.
You know, get in front of millions of people and do the thing. Like that's not an easy thing.
No, it takes a lot of confidence to be able to do that. And I am going to release a book later on this year, which is titled Center Stage Confidence. And I love it because I get to talk about my journey, and I know you have a journey when it comes to like getting in front of audience. Like, and whether you're like center stage on an actual stage or in a relationship or in some facet of your life, you know, confidence is so important because it is that thing that separates you from everyone else, right? A lot of people can sing. A lot of people can get up on a stage and maybe talk, but not many of us like you have done, like I've been able to do, like the people that we see out there can get up in front of thousands, tens of thousands, millions of people and deliver consistently every single time.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is my take on that, and how you get there is you put yourself in the hot seat, you know, to perform.
Yeah, it's the doing of the thing.
And
that's what it's the start that stops most people, right? It's the start that stops most people because we have this desire, this dream to go out and do this thing, and we're passionate about it, and then we start doubting ourselves. We're not, because you're never going to be certain. And part of confidence is moving forward even though you feel uncertain, moving forward even though you don't have all the answers, moving forward and knowing that you're going to figure it out along the way.
You can't wait, because you could be waiting your whole life.
Yeah, exactly. There are people who are waiting.
Yes.
And still waiting and have been waiting.
Yeah.
And yet those of us that are doing what we love to do, doing it on a consistent basis, and not just making an impact, but an income from what we love to do,
Sure.
have to push forward through that and do it anyway. And you actually learn how to do the thing and learn how to trust yourself doing the thing when you do it that way.
That's a big deal, trusting yourself and going forward, because you know you're going to get scrutiny. I mean, the first season of American Idol, when you guys are like, okay, let's try this, now it's like iconic. The world knows all you guys and your journeys. It's epic. And who would have thought that so many people were watching and were just like, they want to know every night what's going on.
Right.
And Michael said he posted a couple of times on Twitter back in the day and said who won, and people got mad at him, said, we don't want to know. We want to find out because we recorded it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like such a...
It's interesting how we're, in this country especially, we're obsessed with fame. And I don't like to say, I mean, I feel the same exact, we all kind of feel obsessed with fame, but what is it? What is that thing that we long for and that makes us tune in? And for some people, it is watching others fall. For some people, it's watching them rise. And what I love about American Idol is that you get to see both there, right? You know, you get to see people go up and down. And on my season, nobody had ever done the things that we were doing. And, you know, at a certain point, it was okay to talk back to Simon. I was the first person who did it.
Did you? You were the first person?
I was like the first person. I mean, I was the first person of like the top 10 or whatever to do it. There are people who are cursing Simon throughout the whole thing. But like, and I never cursed him. But like, at the same time, I was the first person to push back. And you would have thought the world ended at that time. And while had I not done that, I wouldn't have learned the lessons that I needed to learn in order to be not just who I have been for the past 20 some odd years, but like who I needed to be then and there. Maybe
you were really right about what you said. Maybe you were right on, maybe you weren't, but you don't know until you put it out there and find out what it's about. But that was a big thing, the Simon Cowell thing. So from there, you know, you won right alongside. I feel like you and Kelly both won. We when we were watching this, it was like we love Kelly and we love Justin the same. I didn't
lose. I'll tell you, I'm still here.
Yeah, no, there was no losing. Yeah. I mean, 30 million people plus that were watching that show, you know, launched the careers of Kelly Clarkson, Carrie Underwood, multiple people.
Jennifer Hudson, Chris Daw. I mean, just to name a few. I mean, there's so many amazing people who have come off of that show.
Incredible.
And I mean, David Archuleta. I mean, there are people who are household names. There are people who have, you know, gone into a niche and just like are rocking this world and that world. And at the end of the day, it was a platform and still is a platform that's all about talent to let people shine. Yeah. And as long as you're willing to face the music and face the scrutiny, and I say God bless the haters, because I'm totally down. I don't mind one bit. You can hate on me all you want to, because it means that I'm triggering something in you, right? That's it, right? If I can make an impact, if I can shake you up with that for positive or negative, great, because everyone who is anyone is polarizing, right? You either love them or you can't stand them. Sure. You either want to get and buy everything that they do, or you want to have absolutely nothing to do with them. But either way, you're talking about them.
That's true.
Right? That's true. So it's like, just like P.T. Barnum. I don't care what you say about me, just as long as you spell my name right. And with a name like Guarini, that's like...
I love that. I love the whole movie. I'm such a fan of The Greatest Showman. It's so crazy. Yeah. So after you essentially won American Idol, you both won, okay? And you went on to make an album.
I did, yeah.
And you went on to Broadway, too.
Yeah. I feel like I've just had like all these different lives and all these different careers in the past 20 some odd years. An album, toured around the country, around the world. I got to go over and sing in Afghanistan for our troops, you know, back in the day. I was live red carpets for the Grammys, the Emmys, the Tonys. So correspondence and then commercials and Broadway and 7 Broadway shows. It's just like, and then voiceover work. I do voiceover stuff for Disney now. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that I get to do. But I love to entertain. I love to find different ways where I can just do interesting things with art.
Yeah. Well, and you're great at it. And do you feel like American Idol, I mean, you're obviously super talented when you got there, but do you feel like American Idol like established you, or do you feel like it was a launching pad for higher things, or a combination of both? What do you think it was?
I think it was a combination of both. American
Okay.
Idol didn't just establish me. Obviously, getting in front of 30 million people on a weekly basis is like not bad. But it was for all of us a proving ground that said, hey, okay, great. Here is this massive platform that 30 million people a week. We're going to launch shows like 24. We're going to launch shows like House on the back of this show. And you have an opportunity now to show out. And then once the lights went down, then I still had this opportunity, like, okay, what am I going to do? I'm going to record. I'm going to get on the red carpet and interview people. I'm going to get on television. I'm going to do that. And so it was development and a launching pad, and a huge reason why I've been in 7 Broadway shows. You know, I get to play a little sweet character on TV. Like, all the things that I get to do, it, you know, started with that, and I'm just so eternally grateful for the meat grinder that it put me through.
Yeah, it's the truth, right? Okay, Little Sweet. That was that the Diet Dr. Pepper commercial?
Yeah, it was originally a Diet Dr. Pepper
And then-
thing, and then it branched out into the actual regular Dr. Pepper.
Oh, okay.
And so for about 7 years, I got to play this character on television, beamed into hundreds of millions of homes.
Yes.
And most people didn't even know it was me, because I just grew a beard, and then they just put like this sort of like burgundy can-colored wig. But again, you want to go back to confidence. You want to go back to doing the things that we do. I walked into that audition thinking, I'm never going to get this. Because I walked in looking like this, and everybody else looked like some 80s rock star. So I did the greatest thing that I think I've ever done in any audition, and I've carried the lesson throughout my life with it, is I went in and I stopped caring. I just didn't care. I cared to do a good job, but I didn't care if my parents were going to be okay with it, if my friends were going to be okay. I didn't care if the casting director was going to like me. I didn't care about anything other than just having fun. And because I sang things that weren't in the script, because I just did weird things that I do to make my kids laugh, they ended up being like, and 7 years, and completely changed my life in terms of the trajectory of my career.
Wow. It's freedom, because when you're not so intentionally wrapped up in what someone else has, maybe a connection or a thread to your soul or your brain or whatever, it's definitely a hindrance.
Yeah.
And people feel that at different points. And, I've had that journey in my life where, getting up in front of all these people, would be like frightening. And I was like, okay, April, perform. Do you like to talk? I'm like, I do.
Yeah.
Then talk.
But here's the thing,
So-
was it perfect the first time you sat behind this desk?
I skipped over words. I went blank. I did all that stuff, and then finally I just went, I'm okay actually.
Right, but you had to go through that phase.
I did.
And it's so funny because most people don't want to do that
Correct.
phase, because we're taught not to do that phase. Don't raise your hand and say the wrong answer.
Exactly.
Don't have everybody look at you and feel embarrassed. But everybody who's anybody, including yourself, who's doing this, went through that, and they said, I'm just going to continue on, and I just know that this is something that I really enjoy, and I refuse to stop until I get it right.
Yeah, I love that. And that's what's probably pushed you, forward into all these things you love to do.
Sure.
And I love the fact that you want to help other people.
Yeah.
That's a really big deal.
Yeah, it's a huge transition to be
I
able
love
to,
that.
to go from there. Because it all happened because I had a terrible experience in an audition one time. There's a very popular show that I love. I love the people who wrote it and created it. They're friends. And I went in to audition for it, as you do. And over 3 months, I had to learn 20 different songs. I put my life and my soul into it, traveling back and forth, not spending time with my family, all the things. And at the end of that audition process, they said, nah. No, and here's why. No, and you know what, you just weren't right for it. It was just no. And I was like, my ego was bruised on that, because it's not, I know these people, I know that I have a great reputation, and I really put my soul into it, and I was just kind of discarded, right? And once I got over myself, right? Once I was like, okay, ego, thank you very much, I'm only going to be so sad for so long. I was like, wow, if they're doing this to me, then imagine what they're doing to people who haven't been on American Idol, who haven't been in 7 Broadway shows, who haven't been all that. And that was the transition for me. And that's why I love getting on stage and like talking to people about confidence, about failure, about how to actually be successful, and how this Instagram, social media, highlight reel thing is something that we all buy into, right? You know, ask me how I know, but is not the full picture. And if you're willing to go through the mud, like we have done, like we continue to do on a daily basis, right? That is when the success happens, and that's when you actually end up walking the path you're meant to walk and actually enjoying it.
Yeah, you do enjoy it, but you do walk through the mud, and that's the hard part, is to jump into the mud. And the thing with me is that I remember being the kind of person where I'm going to go into music, I'm going to be an independent artist, I'm going to audition for these things that I never got. And then I'm like, oh, let's chart a single. And I charted 2, and I got a Billboard hit, and I did it with my team, and I did it because we were relentless, and I did it because I listened to the experts and I didn't give up. And, you know, after 2 or 3 years into it, and there was like still 0 happening, I'm like, is this going to be worth it? You know, is this worth it? Yes, it is. Because what else am I going to do? I can't stop now. And I can see that in your career. You didn't stop. You just kept going. You kept evolving. And what, like you say, with all these different, finding these different voices and doing these different Broadway shows. You did, I was looking up, you had done American Idiot. That's the Green Day musical.
So much fun. I mean, I went to school for vocal performance, so
me too.
Give me so you know, like you study everything, right? Every genre of music.
I was like, please don't make me sing in German, but they did.
And I did.
You did.
I totally sang Lieder. They made me sing Lieder. Yeah, of course. No.
I was like,
but like, no. Zigeuner Lieder, and you're like, oh, but like I would never sing in that music, right? But again, it's like the doing of it. I'm like, oh, I can sing in German, or
if you have to, you know you can. I can bust out an Italian aria for you right now, but most people don't know that.
But the thing is that kind of training is foundational to singing, right? Because you can sing rock, but you can sing jazz, you can sing all this, but if you have a classical trained voice, then it is going to help you be able to sing all of that stuff so much better.
Absolutely.
And so I totally forget what your question was.
I do too.
Perfect. Good.
Because my brain went to vocal coach, because you know I'm a vocal coach too. I train singers, and I have a book coming out too called, the first one of 3, called Learn to Love the Sound of Your Voice.
Oh, beautiful.
I want to teach people how to love the sound of their voice and stop trying to go, well, I'll wait till it sounds better. I'm like, it's never going to sound better until you use it.
So, so when it comes to helping people feel more confident about their voice, what's like your best advice?
My best advice is to put on blinders and stop listening to other people and looking at their faces when you make a sound with your voice, and just do what's in your head to do. Like, make sound, record yourself, and keep doing it, even though it's painful. It's almost like, you know, my students, I've told them in the past, like, make a succession of videos and watch them. They're like, I can't watch it, April. I can't watch it myself. I'm like, okay, then just make videos and make audios, whatever you need to do, and start realizing what your voice really sounds like, and get to know yourself and your voice, because your voice is you.
Right.
It's your unique, it's your thumbprint, it's you, it's who you are. And I think people compare themselves too much and I want to sing like Justin, I want to sing like Kelly, I want to sing like these people. And this is a tool for us to learn, but it's not who you are.
Right.
It's not your identity. Who you are is what you sound like. That's who you are. Then we refine it. I don't know if that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense. And I remember the first time I heard myself, it was voiceover class in acting school. And I was like, I sound like that?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And like now I do voiceover work for Disney, I do all this stuff, but you have to start in that place. And I think your advice is wonderful. Because again, it's the doing of the thing. You keep doing it. And you're like, well, I don't like this. I don't like this. Okay, well, what do you like? Oh, well, I do like this thing. Okay, great, let's build on that. And let's build, and let's build, and let's build, and let's build. And eventually you look back and you're like, oh my goodness, my voice has evolved. And yes, while I wanted to sound like Whitney or Mariah or like whoever at first, they were great role models. But ultimately, the more that I listened to my voice, the more I did it, the more I was able to discover the me in the formula, and then you just keep pulling. It's like a sweater, you know, you pulled the thread and eventually you pull it enough and the whole thing comes.
And you get more and more. And my voice training system is called Let the Voice Out. You got to let the voice out. And by the way, when you're talking about doing voiceover, you've got to go to real crazy spaces to make voices. And
I love it.
voices that, when you're making a voice, somebody in your family or your space that normally knows your voice would be like, why are you making your voice like that?
Yeah.
Because that's the character.
Yeah.
That's how you do voiceover. So when people tell me you want to do they want to do voiceover, I'm always like, are you sure? Because you're going to have to sound weird to yourself for a long time.
Yeah, no,
You know, just like you got to be that weirdness, but that weirdness is not weird. It's actually something else.
Yeah, it's so. I have on my phone. I have a voice note where anytime, because I talk to myself all the time.
Me too.
Yeah, hello. And anytime
We're like
I just like have
connected
some
here.
sort of weird voice, like I'm like, oh, that might be a good one. And so I have like 12 minutes of like 10 seconds worth of like strange little voice that I do.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'll break them out. And I'll go back and I'll listen and be like,
Nice.
oh, that's a fun one for that. And so again, like you say, you're listening to yourself, you're recording yourself, you're cataloging it,
Yeah.
and then you find something that works and you build on it.
But you won't know until you go through the process.
Yeah. And that's it.
You validate your voice by understanding that it's for different things. It's like the weirdness. I tell people the weirdness in their voices is it's for something. You just don't know what it is yet.
Yeah. And I mean, it goes beyond voiceover work. It goes beyond singing.
Sure.
It works in the boardroom just as much as it does on the stage, just as much as it does in the bedroom, to be honest with you. Like, you know what I mean? Like you letting the voice out is such a wonderful visual because so many people hold that in thinking they're strange. But again, anyone who's done anything or been has embraced that thing that other people think is weird, that other people think is like not enough. And yet when they fully step into who they are, then that's when I believe they're able to shine.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. Aw, I love this conversation. Okay, so let's talk about some other things that you've done because I want to talk about some of the things.
Tell me the things.
You have been in Wicked. You did American Idiot. You did. There were some others musicals that you did. What were your favorite musicals and what were your favorite parts?
My favorite musical of all time that I've done was the last musical that I did, which was called Once Upon a One More Time, which was the Britney Spears musical. Oh. What a lot of people don't know about musicals is that you don't just say, hi, I'm going to do a musical, and then it goes to Broadway. It can be anywhere from 7 to 10 years before a show makes it to Broadway, right? And so I was with this show for about 6 years as it was developed, and new directors, and new this, that, and the other. And it is all the things that we love about Britney Spears and her music, coupled with like the story of basically Cinderella and Prince Charming and all this storybook magic. Sure. And so that one was a favorite of mine because I got to like sing, dance, like think about early 2000s pop dancing. Like, I mean that's what exactly all of that on steroids, and then act as well. So that's my favorite. And American Idiot was wild too because you go from my very first musical was Women on the Verge of a Nervous Breakdown, which no one's ever heard of.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it's a Pedro Almodovar film, but and amazing creative team and Broadway folks on it. But it was more like this very classical sounding sort of thing, like legit Broadway sound. And then you go to I Want to Be an American, like grinding with American Idiot and all that stuff. And it just was so much fun to be able to put. I was like straight ironing my hair and it was black, like it was a whole vibe that was completely different for me. And I love musicals and I love acting and singing and dancing because even just the song, as you well know, right? You take on either a facet of yourself or a different character, and you just get to expose these different parts of your heart.
Right, and a persona that you probably wouldn't normally do, but when you're straightening your hair and being a rocker, like it's like people look at you.
But that's in there for me.
Yeah.
I remember in junior high, there was one point in I know, maybe it was in high school, where like I totally wore like I'm dating myself, but like the long like big pants, the jeans, and like the skater stuff, and I remember, having my Walkman at one point in junior high, my Discman, and listening to the Metallica Black album, and listening to Guns N' Roses, Use Your Illusion or whatever, then it was Lose Your Illusion, and Pearl Jam 10, and like those things were mind-blowing to me.
Wow.
And I never thought that I would then have a chance to go on and sing something like that on Broadway and do it with Billy Joe Armstrong.
Yeah,
and,
the Green Day guy.
Yeah,
how is it? Those guys are incredible.
Yeah.
Oh
and they're still
gosh.
rocking. It's insane.
When I was training singers, I worked with a lot of the show choir kids in Burbank, the John Burroughs High School show choir program, and I actually did a song with them, and that's the song that hit the radio, my first radio hit, and the kids are like, we want to learn Green Day. And I'm like, how do you know who Green Day is? Or they want to learn Led Zeppelin, or they want to learn all these old things. I'm like, how do you, but streaming now allows that, to be every style of music now you can listen to.
And it's randomly,
accessible.
my 14-year-old will be like scrolling through, and he'll like start singing along to this song that, like, again, Led Zeppelin or something like that, because it's like embedded in the reels, or it's embedded in a YouTube video. And it's awesome. I mean, again, going back to American Idol, it was so cool because so many songs, like we were doing Burt Bacharach at one point, right?
Yeah, so was he on the show playing the piano with you guys?
He wasn't
Burt
playing
Bacharach?
the piano with us, but at one point we went into, it was what now is the Renaissance Hotel at Hollywood and Highland, or maybe it's different now, but Hollywood and Highland. And I remember walking into the room, and there's Burt Bacharach at the piano.
Wow.
And I mean, like, I kind of knew who Burt Bacharach was. Like, you know what I mean? Like, even then, I was like 22 at the time, and I was like, yeah, I kind of
his
get
day
this.
was like...
Yeah, but it was like back in the day.
Yeah.
But I love the fact that people my age and kids who were teenagers at the time were exposed to that music because it's so good. It's great music. And so I love how American Idol and different musicals, especially the jukebox musicals, will expose people to things that they would have never ever listened to.
Oh yeah, and that's most definitely it. And then you find out you like something that you thought you didn't like.
Right.
And suddenly you're singing it, even though, like, I don't like this, but it's in my head. And I'm like, yeah, but you kind of like it.
Right. And then it goes back to, what you're talking about, let the voice out. Whoa,
Yeah.
I just heard Robert Plant. Whoa, I just heard Shaka Khan. Whoa, I just heard, Bella Fleck and the Flecktones. Like, and that, you know what I mean? Like, right. And that is, the imitation of those things is how we begin to formulate what we like, and then the continuing, like, doing
Instead
it.
of listening to the peer pressure of like, oh, I don't like that, or, there was that back in the day. It's not anymore.
Yeah.
But I think when I was younger, I think I remember, oh, don't listen to disco, or don't listen to the musical theater junk. Where's the rock, or where's this? Sometimes there were those little cliques back in the old days or whatever when we were kids. But
I think the trap is, with that now, is that we are listening to, and look, it's just the way it is.
Yeah.
I got no complaints about it. I use it. Everybody uses it. We're listening to vocals that are so processed that people think that they need to sound like this, but like at the end of the day, that's compressors, that's all kinds of stuff on there. And when you try and emulate that sound, you end up actually doing damage. Yeah. Whereas that didn't necessarily exist with some of the older stuff. But like,
my producer makes me just sing it straight up. It's got to be not one whole pass.
Yeah.
Can we punch in? Just sing the whole pass again until we get the whole
interesting.
pass. Yeah, and it taught me to be it taught me to be a really good singer and powerful in the studio, and just really. I mean, over and over, 98 takes of the same line. Some people would be like, I'm done, I don't want to do anymore.
I've done it. I've had a producer who was like, can you give me a little bit differently? And it just kills your creativity and kills your artistry 100%. But when you do it right, I mean, it's great. Because you can sing, like, I'm going to sing 5 passes of this verse. I've done it. Like, go, give me 6 passes of this verse, so I'll give it full 6 passes. And then they say, go away. And I go away, and then they'll comp, they'll take the best parts of it, and it's great. And then I listen to that, and I realize, oh, that's the performance. And then I emulate my own performance, and then that's what I can go out and give to an audience.
Because you have to listen to that track for the rest of your life.
That's right, especially if it's a hit. Especially if it's a hit.
If you hear, and you hear something, you're like, it's a hit, but that one part that I wish I would have done it again. And look, you did it again. And I feel the same way. I feel the same way, and that's why it's kind of a brutal process sometimes. But so first year of American Idol, they were like, let's see what happens. They threw all you guys together. They brought on these professionals, and then it evolved. And now my question to you is, what was it like for you to watch the next seasons of that? Like, were you surprised at where it went? Were you excited? Were you like, what are they doing?
A little bit of everything. I was excited. And I was really busy that next season. I was actually recording my album at the time.
Oh, nice.
I remember going on to Oprah with Clay and Ruben.
Oh, yeah.
And so, it was wild. And it was a lesson in diplomacy. It was a lesson in how record labels work.
Sure.
It was a lesson in the entertainment business, because I went in with the mantra, I'm going to do a great job and they're going to take care of me, which is not the truth. Right. That 99.99999% of the time, that is not the truth when it comes to the entertainment business in general. The entertainment business is very much like the entertainment or the the stereotypical Las Vegas, right? Entertainment business is designed to get you in, get as much out of you, and then send you on your way, right?
Yeah.
And while all of Las Vegas is not like that, friends, we know the parts of Las Vegas that are like that. They're designed to get you in, get as much out of you as they can. You have fun, great. And then after about 3 days, you're like, I gotta get out of here.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're done, right? And then the next group of people come in.
So true.
And the entertainment industry is like that as well. And so the great thing about that for me was I saw that next season. I was doing my work on my album, but I didn't just stick to singing. I got in front of the camera and I leveraged my fame, whatever, to interview other people who are on American Idol, right? To do other things.
Nice.
Movie stars. I did a lot of press junkets. I worked for TV Guide Network. And
wow.
Yeah, and I just said, I took after my mom, who was one of the first anchor women on CNN.
Really?
Yeah, and I just started interviewing people, and I said, okay, I'm going to get in front of the camera. And
that's what I do.
yeah, exactly. But that's the thing. And when you, in the entertainment industry, especially if you love to sing, if you love to act, if you love to dance, you can't just do that one thing.
It's true. It's true. You've got to leverage multiple things. And the thing about what you were talking about earlier about the voices and trying different things, it's not just the voice, it's everything that you do.
Yeah.
And when you said you got up and you started acting and you started doing things like getting in the mirror and watching the videos, that's a whole different world too. Because the singer is standing there singing, but then when you're getting onto Broadway and these different things, that's a whole other animal, because that's, multiple shows a week for a very long time.
Yeah.
And you've got to keep yourself up on the craft. And I feel like that sometimes singers and entertainers might limit themselves to a certain thing. Whereas, for me, I'm like, I started interviewing because of, COVID, and I'm like, okay, what am I going to do? Okay, I'm going to talk. And the talking led to this.
Yeah.
So, and I love it. And I absolutely, as a singer and a host, and I can relate to you and you tell me all these cool stories, but everybody's got, I think, more than one thing. Everyone's got something else they can do, but I feel like people are limited.
Yeah, I think people limit themselves because, again, it's just a matter of perspective. It's a matter of just putting yourself out there.
Oh, yeah.
It's the hardest thing to do, because if you put yourself out there, when you put yourself out there, you're going to trigger someone. Maybe it's someone in your family, maybe it's someone in your audience, and they're going to say something negative about you. And what most people don't realize is that that's the greatest thing that could possibly ever happen, because you're making an impact, you're shaking people up, you're getting their attention. And so when you do that and couple that with recognizing that you're more than just your voice, right? You're more than just one thing. And what you just prove on a daily, weekly basis is that you're not just using your vocal expression. You, like singers, actors, dancers, you have to use your vocal expression, your physical expression, your facial expression. It's all part of it, because anybody who you admire in entertainment is instinctively doing that, or has learned how to do that.
Yeah.
And so getting up there, and again, like, record yourself. Listen to your vocal image, right? Or record yourself and turn the volume all the way down on what it is, and just watch how your body and your face are telling the story.
Yeah.
Right? Simple little things that most people won't do, but when you do them, you inevitably learn something.
Sure.
And then when you take action on that, you get better. And then eventually all the fear gets softer. It doesn't go away. Never goes away, right? Like, and the fear never ever goes away.
The nerves kind of always show up, but I use the nerves as energy, and I'm sure you do too. Like,
that's it. That's the secret.
I can't imagine you have nerves.
That's the secret. I do. I'll be worried when I don't have nerves, because I watched a very famous person who's known for his piano playing and singing skills literally be at the piano and just like Madison Square Garden, like this, and just
looking at the
watch, like ready to go. And I'm sorry, if I ever get to that point, then I hang it up, because it means I don't care. So when I feel nervous before I go out on a Broadway stage, or when I go keynote, or whatever I'm doing, I'm like, oh, good, I can use this.
Right, because you care. When you say not caring, there's a thing to not caring when you're in an audition, because you're freeing yourself up. But when you care about the performance itself, you're going to put everything you've got into it, and you have an expectation. not perfection. This is, this is like a very fine line, trying to be perfect, but also trying to give the greatest performance.
Right.
There's a little bit of, there's a balance to all of it.
Yeah.
And I think that if we go out and try to be perfect, I've crashed every time I tried to be perfect.
Absolutely.
And the more I was like myself, and then a refined self where I was talking more clearly and doing everything I was supposed to do without the anxiousness and without the feeling of rushing and all of that, then things even out.
Yeah. And that you hit on something really important, because it's progress, not perfection.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
My partner, Kim Walsh-Phillips, and I, inside our Elite Speakers Network, when we teach people to get on the stage, we are always 100% about progress, not perfection.
Amazing.
Because perfection is a myth, first of all, and it's just fear and procrastination dressed up in a fancy suit.
Yeah.
Right? Like when you make progress is ugly. It gets messy. It feels really good, and then it's like, I'm not quite sure. But it's a process that if you're willing to go through it, you're always going to come out on the other side.
That's awesome.
Feeling better, looking better, and ultimately getting further faster.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So what is next for you? I know that you're doing a lot of these speaking engagements, and we'll have Kim come up here in just a second. Hi, Kim. Kim's in the studio with us. I want to do a little clip in a second, but what is next for you musically? I mean, let me just be your fan for a moment and say, when's your next album coming out?
Oh my goodness, who knows? What's next for me is I have been really enjoying myself singing with orchestras. It's one of my favorite things to do. I just did the Unforgettable, the Nat King Cole tribute. And so I just love singing jazz. I love singing musical theater. And so that is something that I get to do all the time. I love it.
That's fantastic.
And then I continue to work with Disney on a show called Super Kitties. Which is, #1 Disney Junior show.
Amazing.
And I get to play Cat Burglar on that. So I'm doing that. And then I'm speaking on stages and helping show just the fast path for entrepreneurs who have a successful business but have like a performance background, like maybe you're in the choir or the band or like debate club or gymnastics or something like that. We tend to attract those folks who want to grow their business via the power of speaking on stage. So again, it's just like I got all these different hats, but everything I love, it lets me do everything that I love, but ultimately make just more than an income, but make an impact too.
Right.
Yeah.
I love that. Not just an income, but an impact. But you can do both.
Exactly.
That's
the best. That's the best way to go about it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So we'll be right back with the one and only Justin Guarini, right back here on Hey Vegas TV.
Hey Vegas! Celebrate every day in style at the Composer's Room. From live music to comedy shows, we've got entertainment that'll give you that Las Vegas vibe. Our tavern serves the best drinks in Vegas. Whether you're a cocktail connoisseur or a beer buff, our bartenders got you covered. And let's not forget about the food. Our culinary delights are sure to tantalize your taste buds. Come for the entertainment and stay for the food. Reserve your visit to the Composer's Room today and start celebrating Las Vegas our way.
Looking for a night out that's pure Vegas? Welcome to Jimmy Kimmel's Comedy Club, voted best comedy club in Las Vegas. Located at the Link Promenade, just steps from the High Roller, it's your ticket to big laughs from top comics handpicked by Jimmy Kimmel himself. No two shows are alike. Every night's a headliner, and every seat's a great one. Get your laughs at the best. Jimmy Kimmel's Comedy Club, only in Vegas, only at the Link.
Hey Vegas! Celebrate every day in style at the Composer's Room. From live music to comedy shows, we've got entertainment that'll give you that Las Vegas vibe. Our tavern serves the best drinks in Vegas. Whether you're a cocktail connoisseur or a beer buff, our bartenders got you covered. And let's not forget about the food. Our culinary delights are sure to tantalize your taste buds. Come for the entertainment and stay for the food. Reserve your visit to the Composer's Room today and start celebrating Las Vegas our way.
Hey everybody, what's up? We're back live with April Diamond here with the one, the only Justin Guarini. Woot! And meet Kim Walsh.
Hi.
Hi. How are you guys doing?
Doing great.
So we are finishing up an interview with Justin, but I want you guys to talk about a little bit about what you're doing here in Vegas and your speaker training and how you're helping individuals be more powerful on stage.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's so much fun because I love, first of all, you did an amazing interview, and I love watching the power of that because we work with our people how to give great sound bites and how to be a great interviewer, and it was a master class on that, so that was incredible. And
I passed.
Yes, so good. And Justin's light shines when he performs, and it's one of my greatest gifts getting to see him do that. And the fact that we've built that, and the fact that we've built that into a business where we get to inspire other people to do it too. In our keynote speech, we get to tell very personal stories that inspire an audience, and he sings in our talk. So like we've combined all the different aspects of the performing arts into a talk that allows us to not just inspire a room, but generate income.
That's fantastic.
And one of our favorite things is getting other people to use the stage to grow their business, and it's fantastic.
Fantastic. I have to come watch that. You guys are in town?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And what is your event a consistent event that you come to Vegas for?
This one is for the American Retail Banking Federation,
Oh, okay.
which is banks that are in grocery stores. Because there's a federation for everything. But we do speak regularly. But yeah, we would love to include you. We'll give you our upcoming speaking schedule.
Oh my gosh, that would be, thank you so much. That's incredible. And thank you that you do that for people.
Yeah, it's fun because there are a lot of people, especially who come into our world, are, they went into real life, right? They have a business, or they're an entrepreneur, or they're an intrapreneur, but they want to grow and they want to get up in front of the boardroom, or they want to get up in front of a classroom, or they want to get up and they want to grow a following. They want to make people see them differently. They want they want people to see the real them.
Yeah.
And so ultimately what we love to do is to take those people who want to do that, who also have been on a stage before. Maybe they were a DJ at the family party, maybe they were in the band or the choir or the drama club,
They have that performance
right? It's
in
a
them.
gene.
Yeah.
It's in there.
Theater geeks who own businesses. Those are our people.
Yeah.
Theater Geeks Doing Business. Is that a t-shirt?
It
should be.
Yeah.
But April, I know that we've all been in this situation. It's like you have a hope strategy, right? Like you hope at the end of an interview a sponsor might contact you, or you hope at the end of an interview another guest will say yes.
Sure.
And we've had those moments happen and they feel magical and they feel like, well, I'm doing the right thing, but then we just wait and hope for the next thing. And for a lot of business owners, that's what they do. They hope for the next referral or the next recurring client or the person in the back of the room when they get off the stage to say, can I hire you? And what we do is we say, stop basing this on hope and actually follow a blueprint.
Nice.
So there's just by putting a call to action at the end of your video or before you get off the stage, or by including a free gift in your post that will give people their contact information.
Yeah.
Like, you do these little tiny tweaks. Just take what you're doing already and you can 10x your results just by adding in that less hope and more strategic approach.
I like that. I think I just learned something to include in what I do. That's awesome. And so you do different events that you're invited to, and then do you hold your own events as well?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Yep.
And what's your next event coming up?
We have an event called Speak to Sell Live, where over the course of 3 days, we work business owners through a kind of like a speaker camp to grow your business.
Nice.
And they create their talk, they work on their story and their call to action, and they build their big offer that they're going to sell from the stage, so that way they can get up on stage and in 1 hour make over 6 figures.
It's
wow.
great. Yeah, it's
really?
fun. And then, of course, there's a performance aspect to that, too.
Yes,
right?
there is.
Because we have all of the business focus. And Kim won't tell you this, but I'll tell you this.
Tell me.
Kim has been responsible for, Kevin Mr. Wonderful O'Leary from Shark Tank.
Yes.
Kim ran a lot of the social media marketing for a lot of the Shark Tank investors and Shark Tank investments that Mr. Wonderful O'Leary did, Kevin Mr. Wonderful O'Leary did.
Wow.
And so when you combine that kind of business acumen with performance and discovering how to get up on stage and deliver a message with your voice, your face, your body. I mean, that's the thing. We met during COVID, just like when you started this.
Yeah.
And we both were theater nerds and marketing nerds.
That's
God
right.
bless theater nerds and marketing nerds.
It just came together.
It's a beautiful kismet.
So here, 4 or 5 years later, we're now helping really just entrepreneurs discover how their own voice, their own way to grow the business by speaking on stage.
That's fantastic. That's great. That's great that you're teaching them that. And everything, making reels and making videos and talking about your business, there's a fair amount of acting and performance in everything.
Sure.
Yeah. So where can people find you so that they can be a part of your program?
EliteSpeakersNetwork.com.
EliteSpeakersNetwork.com.
Elite.
Elite.
Speakersnetwork.com is where you go, and it's all information, lots of free gifts, and our upcoming events as well.
Okay. EliteSpeakers.com.
Network.
ELITE.
EliteSpeakersNetwork.com.
We're gonna put it up right
Yeah,
on
he's
the
going to put
Bottom
it
third.
bottom.
We need a bottom third over here.
He will. He'll have a bottom. It'll be there. It'll be the right one. He'll ask you for it. Yeah.
All good.
But yeah, and so you have multiple events. Do you have online events and in-person events?
Yeah, we do both, and we're
Okay.
keynote speakers in a business tour called the Aspire Tour.
Ah, yes.
And so
that's
we're joined by the likes of David Goggins and Ed Milet.
Amazing.
And so amazing
Mr.
speakers,
Wonderful O'Leary,
and
yeah.
we are the opening keynotes on that business tour. So that's been a lot of fun as well.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just want to give you guys an open invitation when you're in town doing Aspire anything. Bring the friends that you're chatting with and bring them here. Let's talk on Hey Vegas TV. I would love to have
sounds
you
great.
Yeah.
anytime. And anything new you have coming, please, hit me up and hit us up, and we want to talk about it because we want to
will.
promote you.
Awesome.
Because
Thank
we
you.
love you,
Thank you.
and I just like to talk. But I love promoting these things. I love the fact that you want to help people. And I appreciate that. Yeah. And coming from your stardom and millions of people knowing who you are and that you want to give back like that is tremendous. And thank you for doing that.
Well, thank you very much for having us on.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Anything else you want to tell the people where they can find your music, where they can find anything else that you're doing?
Follow him on social. I'm going to do the blatant call out.
Yes, please.
At Justin Guarini on everywhere you follow. And number 1 would be Instagram. Number 2 would be TikTok, followed by Facebook and LinkedIn. Follow.
All right.
He has great content, great music, great tips and
Yes.
strategies. Follow him online.
So
right
feel
now.
free to tag me in my stories at April Diamond Music, and
Sure.
I will
We will
be
tag
sharing
and
that.
repost
it's
and
all
all the
gonna be-
things.
And then we're
It's going to be a love fest, a social media love fest.
Cross-mogination, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm a fan of that. And I always tell, the people that follow me, I call them my follower family. So I started a hashtag, and you're welcome to please join it. It's hashtag my follower family.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Followers are family. They
Yeah.
mean a lot to me. And then when they comment and they're part of it, and when you guys engage and comment and follow,
That's
it
awesome.
means a lot to us.
Yeah.
And we love you for it. And we want to,
Yeah.
respond and that kind of thing. Thank you guys so much. Thank you,
Thanks for
Justin.
having us.
Thank you, April.
Kim. I am absolutely just overjoyed that you're here. Thank you so much. And thank you for watching Hey Vegas TV, you guys, live with April Diamond. We'll see you again on the next time. Cheers.